So, welcome back to Come and See Inspirations. My name is John Keeley. This part of the programme this morning, I said I'd have a chat with a Trócaire representative that we do every year, who will explain to us or give us some little bit of an insight as to what the Trócaire campaign encompasses this year. Of course, as mentioned early on, in the third part of the programme this morning, we are actually going to pray the Stations of the Cross, which are the Trócaire Stations of the Cross. But now, pleasure for me to welcome onto the programme. I think it's the first time, actually, you've been on yourself. Colm Hogan from Trócaire. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning, John. And it's good to be with you there, and good to be with the people in all the people who listen into Limerick. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Radio.
Thanks a lot for that. Now, Colm. So, Colm, again, one of the major works that Trócaire do each year is to try and get the rest of us to help support your campaign in various parts of the world. This year, you're concentrating on Sierra Leone. Have you got a small little brief outline you can give us of that, please, Colm?
Yeah, Sierra Leone, John, is your listeners will probably be aware it's in West Africa. It's one of the only countries in West Africa we work in, and primarily our work in Sierra Leone it's focused on 4 areas: women's empowerment, food and resource rights, justice and human rights, and humanitarian response.
Okay.
And this year our Lenten campaign is actually a humanitarian response. Mm-hmm. It's maybe perhaps a different campaign to other Lenten campaigns, where sometimes on our Trócaire box we have families whom we have been supporting for a long time. But this year we're supporting a family who very sadly suffered a devastating mudslide last August, the 14th of August in 2017. And literally there was 1,000 homes on a hillside in Freetown, in the capital city, a local area called Regent area, and would you believe the mudslide took away nearly 1,000 homes, and the family we are supporting are one of the very few families who survived. And the girl on our Trócaire box this year, many of your listeners may have seen the Trócaire box this year, it's a girl called Colm, and she survived with her family that particular morning. But it was really the luck of God she survived, because herself and her mother and her brother and sisters went out of the house to one side, and 2 of their father had just gone down the mountain to look on his brother, because there had been a storm developing, and he'd gone down because he wanted to check on his brother that his brother was okay. And on his way down to his brother's house, he heard this huge clap, and it was like an explosion, like an earthquake. Mm-hmm. And he looked back and he saw the mountain coming down, and for those few moments he thought all his family were gone, his wife and his children. And he also had two apprentices. Sad, Colm's father is a builder, and he had 2 apprentices staying in the same house as his wife and family. Mm-hmm. And Sa's wife and family just went to one side. They went to the right side, and the 2 builders went to the left side. And very, very sadly, the 2 builders were never seen again. And Sa's family survived, all because of just making a split-second decision to go one way.
So, I mean, there again, that is a beautiful example of the way you guys in Trócaire were able to come in and help this family after that awful disaster. And of course, it's a very important time this time of the year for Trócaire to be able to get as much support as they can from the people like ourselves who listen to the programme this morning. Just how important is that, Colm, in terms of supporting the campaign this year?
Yeah. Well, John, I probably don't need to tell you this, but that support is absolutely crucial to our work. I was in Sierra Leone myself last November, and I was standing at the foot of that mudslide, and it was like looking at a cemetery, because there's so many people who are buried alive now on that mudslide. But the people we met, Trócaire have a great model where they work with organisations on the ground out there. So it's a local partnership model that we have. Mm-hmm. And we met many of the partner organisations that day. And it was really, we met in an information kiosk, and really it was like a tent that was put together. And when you maybe one look at the tent and you say, "Sure, that's nothing at all," and that tent was the focal point for that community for the months after the immediate aftermath of the mudslide. And we met so many people that day who thanked Trócaire for coming in to help them in their hour of need. And many of the staff in the Sierra Leone office in Trócaire are native to Sierra Leone, which is very good. So they know about the situation at ground level. And the one message they said to me was to bring back to the people in Ireland was to thank them so much for our help. And I suppose particularly within the Limerick area now, John, and I know one of my colleagues, Karen, was with you a few weeks back talking about the parish volunteer initiative. And some of those volunteers who have only come on board this year with Trócaire already have spoken at masses in the Limerick area. And like getting that message out and getting the awareness of our work out is why our program work in these countries continue. Because without that support, without the support of people on the ground who are making people aware of our work and maybe helping people then to say to fundraise for us and all that, only for that our program work wouldn't be able to continue. So it's absolutely crucial. I can't emphasize that enough, John.
So there's two ways maybe that people can help. First of all, maybe by volunteering. Is that what you're saying, Colm?
Yes, volunteering. Yeah, like a lot of our the volunteers really get the message across. Like, and it's not just during Lent, because the volunteers can be coming projects that we have throughout the year, and so a volunteer in a parish, and then through I know a lot of schools in the Limerick area, and a lot of the parishes have done an amazing amount of fundraising for us as well. So, and I also know that there has been a great so like the Stations of the Cross now, the resource that we brought out for parishes. We also have a resource from a couple of years ago called Rediscovering Mercy, and many parishes in the Limerick diocese took on that resource as a Lenten project, or maybe they could do it during Advent or sometime during the year in a parish calendar. Yeah. And by doing so, they're learning about our work and the different areas we work in.
So two things now, just before we leave, because I know time is a bit short this morning, unfortunately. But first of all, if somebody did want to volunteer, would they contact the Trócaire office?
Yeah, absolutely. Contact the Trócaire office here, our head office in Maynooth, like either myself or Karen Casey as well, who's the volunteer coordinator. And it's just a matter of contacting the head office number and asking for either Karen or myself, and we'll put them then in contact with. We'll set the ball rolling. Let's put it that way. You know?
Or even if they were able to get onto your website, www.trócaire.org.
Yeah, and they can leave an inquiry there, and that will get to us as well. You know.
Okay, and just before you leave us, if people want to help out financially, I know that you have the Trócaire envelopes around the parish. If there was are there other options?
Yeah, there is. We have the Trócaire envelope, the Trócaire boxes. We also have a lot of fundraising goes on. Say a community could fundraise for us, or a local business could fundraise us. We can have community fundraising as well. Like one example of a good community fundraiser is say a group of people taking on a cycle-thon, like, you know, that they find out maybe how far it is to cycle to Syria, and it might take them over 4 or 5 days, and get the community involved in it, you know.
Very good. So
there's a range, a diverse amount of ways people can get involved in raising money as well, you know.
Okay, and the phone number there for Trócaire, is it 1-800? I forget it now.
I don't have that, but I know our head office number is 01.
01?
Yeah. 6293333.
6296133. Listen, we will certainly put up that on our website, and at the end of the program, we'll also mention again those contact numbers. In the meantime, Colm, thank you so much for coming on the programme and sharing with us this morning.
Very good,
and keep up the good work.
Thank you very much, and I hope many parishes will take on board the Stations of the Cross as well. It's a very good resource.
Thank you very much indeed. Listen, God bless you, and we'll speak to you again some other time, Colm.
Thank you, John. Take care now.
In the meantime, listeners, we will now have to go for a break. We actually don't have time for the piece of music this morning, but maybe if you come back with us, and we'll continue on praying the Stations of the Cross.